Gene Kelly, the renowned actor and performer, revolutionized the language of cinema during the mid-20th century. Known for his vibrant acrobatics and energetic tap dancing, Kelly became an iconic figure in Hollywood. With his diverse talents as an actor, dancer, singer, and filmmaker, he captivated audiences with his performances in the most beloved musicals of the 1940s and 50s, earning him widespread recognition and making him a symbol of American culture. On the silver screen, Kelly's electrifying presence propelled him to success, particularly with box office hits like On the Town and Singin' in the Rain. However, behind the scenes, he struggled to maintain professional relationships due to his often overlooked volatile temperament. Off-set, Kelly displayed moments of insecurity and an egotistical nature, often asserting a dictatorial attitude towards his colleagues. He was known to be temperamental and fiercely competitive. In his personal life, Kelly had relationships with younger women, and his paternalistic tendencies sometimes made him an overbearing partner. According to Hollywood legends, his relentless drive for perfection caused strain in both his personal and professional connections, leading to the dissolution of several important relationships. Throughout Gene Kelly's career, there were numerous reports of such behavior. Stanley Donen, who collaborated with Kelly for many years as a choreographer and co-director, later mentioned in his career that working with the actor was quite challenging. In an interview with the New York Times, Donen expressed his displeasure with Kelly's off-screen demeanor, stating, "What I didn't like, and I know this is not appropriate now, was his manner off-screen. He could be difficult with me and everyone else." While working on the iconic musical Singin' in the Rain, Donen faced difficulties with Kelly, especially due to the strained relationship between Kelly and Debbie Reynolds. Reynolds, who was only 19 when she joined the film, looked up to Kelly for guidance, only to be met with coldness and even a desire from Kelly to work with a different actor on set. Debbie Reynolds described Gene Kelly as a cruel taskmaster in her memoir, recalling how he criticized her during rehearsals without offering any encouragement. The intense physical demands of the work, such as the 15-hour dance number for Good Morning, left Reynolds with bleeding feet and exhaustion, requiring 2 days of rest. Despite having only 3 months to learn what Kelly and Donald O'Connor had mastered over the years, Reynolds received no support from Kelly to adjust to his working style. Working with Kelly not only took a toll on Reynolds physically but also emotionally, as she was subjected to unwanted sexual advances during their first on-screen kiss. Debbie Reynolds' memoir, Unsinkable, delves into the darker side of Hollywood's golden age, shedding light on the predatory behavior of some of its most iconic figures. In a particularly harrowing passage, Reynolds recounts the moment when Gene Kelly, known for his charm and charisma on screen, crossed a line by forcibly kissing her. The incident left Reynolds feeling violated and shaken, prompting her to flee the set in a state of shock. Sadly, Reynolds' experience with Kelly was not an isolated one. Esther Williams, another Hollywood starlet, also spoke out against Kelly, labeling him a jerk and recounting her own traumatic encounters with him. These revelations paint a troubling picture of Kelly as a man who used his power and influence to prey on vulnerable young women in the industry. Despite his undeniable talent and contributions to the movie musical genre, Kelly's reputation as a self-absorbed and predatory figure cast a dark shadow over his legacy. Even after his death in 1996, the stain of his misconduct continued to tarnish his once gleaming reputation, serving as a stark reminder of the darker side of Hollywood's glamorous facade. Well then, in today's video, we will take a closer look at the man behind the iconic performances, delving into his personal life and exploring the influences that shaped his career. From his collaborations with other Hollywood legends to his groundbreaking work in film and television, we will uncover the true essence of Gene Kelly and the legacy he left behind. So sit back, relax, and join us on this journey through the life and career of one of Hollywood's brightest stars. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this, and be sure to leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comment section below. Your feedback is invaluable to us as we strive to create content that resonates with our audience. Thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoy the video. Kelly was married 3 times. In 1941, he tied the knot with actress Betsy Blair. The pair had a daughter named Kerry, but unfortunately, Kelly and Blair ended their marriage in April 1957. During a conversation with Closer Weekly, Kerry portrayed Kelly as a highly involved father. She fondly reminisced about their trips to Yosemite, rock climbing adventures, and cooking beef stew from a tin together. Kelly married his choreographic assistant Gene Coyne in 1960 for his second marriage. They had 2 children together, Timothy and Bridget, born in 1962 and 1964. Their marriage lasted until Coyne passed away in 1973. Kelly had not intended to marry again, but his plans changed when he met Patricia Ward. They first crossed paths in 1985, when she was 26 and he was 73. Despite his celebrity status, she had never watched any of his films prior to meeting him. In an interview with the Irish Times, Ward shared the story of how she crossed paths with Kelly. She was in Washington, working on a documentary about the Smithsonian Museum, which was originally supposed to be narrated by Gregory Peck, a familiar face to her. However, to her surprise, Kelly ended up being the narrator instead of Peck. At the time, Ward had no idea who he was, making their first encounter quite surreal and unexpected, especially considering the eventual romance that blossomed between them. Their paths crossed as Ward was making her way to the ladies' room, and that's when she saw the sophisticated-looking Kelly stepping out of the men's bathroom. Despite spending weeks working together, Ward remained oblivious to Kelly's fame until the very last day of the documentary shoot. It was only when he drove off in a luxurious limousine, and the woman beside her revealed his celebrity status, that she finally learned about his renown. Curiosity piqued, Ward decided to visit the video store and rent some of Kelly's films. As she watched them at home, she was astounded by his incredible talent and the brilliance of his work. 6 months after their collaboration on the documentary, Kelly surprised Ward with a call, inviting her to California to collaborate on some writing projects. Excitedly, she accepted the offer and headed to his residence on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. By the end of that week, Kelly approached her with a special request to write his memoir. This significant event marked the beginning of their relationship, which eventually led to their marriage in 1990. During the interview with the Irish Times, Ward also discussed the notable 47-year age gap between her and Kelly. Additionally, she touched upon the fact that he had been married twice before and was a father of 3. She added that Kelly called himself her Pygmalion. Their relationship just worked. Neither of them expected it to happen, but it just evolved naturally. Ward and Kelly remained married until his death on February 2, 1996. However, his legacy continues, and Ward guards it. Kelly was born in the East Liberty neighborhood of Pittsburgh. He was the middle child out of 5, born to James Patrick Joseph Kelly, a phonograph salesman, and his wife, Harriet Catherine Curran. His father was originally from Peterborough, Ontario, Canada, and came from an Irish-Canadian family. On the other hand, his maternal grandfather immigrated from Derry, Ireland, while his maternal grandmother had German ancestry. At the age of 8, Kelly's mother enrolled him and his brother James in dance classes, along with their sisters. However, both Kelly and his brother rebelled against it, often getting into fights with the neighborhood boys who taunted them. Kelly didn't dance again until he reached the age of 15. Interestingly, his childhood dream was to play shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates. When Kelly finally decided to pursue dance, he was already an accomplished sportsman and capable of defending himself. He attended St. Raphael Elementary School in the Morningside neighborhood of Pittsburgh and graduated from Peabody High School at the young age of 16. Initially, he enrolled at Pennsylvania State College as a journalism major, but due to the financial strain caused by the 1929 crash, he left school and started working to support his family. To earn some extra money, Kelly and his younger brother Fred created dance routines and participated in local talent contests. They also performed in various nightclubs in the area. In 1931, Kelly enrolled at the University of Pittsburgh to study economics and became a member of the Theta Kappa Phi fraternity, which later merged with Phi Kappa and became Phi Kappa Theta. He actively participated in the university's Cap and Gown Club, which produced original musical productions. Even after graduating in 1933, Kelly remained involved with the Cap and Gown Club, serving as its director from 1934 to 1938. He was also admitted to the University of Pittsburgh Law School. His family established a dance studio in the Squirrel Hill neighborhood of Pittsburgh. In 1932, they rebranded it as the Gene Kelly Studio of the Dance and launched a second branch in Johnstown, Pennsylvania in 1933. Kelly took on the role of a teacher at the studio while pursuing his undergraduate and law studies at Pitt. In 1931, he was invited by the Beth Shalom Synagogue in Pittsburgh to teach dance and organize the annual kermesse. The endeavor was a triumph, leading to Kelly's retention for 7 years until he left for New York. Kelly eventually made the decision to follow a path as a dance instructor and full-time performer, leading him to drop out of law school after 2 months. He shifted his focus towards performing and later expressed his disillusionment with teaching due to the high ratio of girls to boys, with a significant dropout rate once the girls turned 16. In 1937, after successfully managing and expanding the family's dance school business, he relocated to New York City in pursuit of opportunities as a choreographer. Kelly returned to Pittsburgh, to his family residence at 7514 Kensington Street, in 1940, and began working as a theatrical actor. Kelly returned to Pittsburgh after not finding work in New York and became a choreographer for the Charles Gaynor musical review at the Pittsburgh Playhouse. He appeared in several sketches, one of which became the basis for a Spanish number in the film Anchors Aweigh years later. His first Broadway role was as a dancer in Cole Porter's Leave It to Me. In 1938, he was hired by Robert Alton, who was impressed by Kelly's teaching skills. He then acted, sang, and danced in multiple routines in the musical One for the Money. In 1939, Kelly was selected to choreograph the musical review One for the Money by Katharine Cornell. His breakthrough came in the Pulitzer Prize-winning play The Time of Your Life, where he danced to his own choreography. In the same year, he became a Broadway choreographer for Billy Rose's Diamond Horseshoe and got married to Betsy Blair. In 1940, Kelly starred in Rodgers and Hart's Pal Joey, which propelled him to stardom. Despite offers from Hollywood, he waited until his commitment to Pal Joey was over before going to Hollywood. In 1942, Selznick sold half of Kelly's contract to Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer for his first film, For Me and My Gal, starring Judy Garland. Despite Kelly's initial doubts, the movie was a success, leading Arthur Freed of MGM to pick up the other half of Kelly's contract. Kelly then appeared in Pilot No. 5 and Christmas Holiday, before taking the male lead in Cole Porter's Du Barry Was a Lady, with Lucille Ball. In his next film, Thousands Cheer, Kelly had the opportunity to choreograph his own dance for the first time. He continued to establish himself as a talented dancer in the film Cover Girl, in which he danced with his own reflection. Despite some criticism of his singing and dancing abilities, Kelly's work in Anchors Aweigh received high praise and he was nominated for an Academy Award. Kelly also collaborated with Fred Astaire in The Babbitt and the Bromide challenge dance routine in Ziegfeld Follies. Kelly's deferment from the draft in 1940 was granted by the United States Selective Service System upon the request of his employers. However, in October 1944, after an appeal made by the head of the Selective Service in New York City to President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Kelly's classification was changed to 1A, making him eligible for induction. President Roosevelt personally supported and upheld the appeal. Subsequently, Kelly was inducted into the Armed Forces a month later and, upon his request, was assigned to the United States Navy. He served in the United States Naval Air Service and received a commission as lieutenant, junior grade. Stationed in the photographic section in Washington, D.C., he actively contributed to the creation and direction of various documentaries, which sparked his interest in the production aspect of filmmaking. Kelly's military service came to an end in 1946 when he was discharged. After serving in the Navy, Kelly was used by MGM in a lackluster film called Living in a Big Way. However, the studio recognized his talent for dance and asked him to design and insert dance routines. This led to a lead role in his next film, The Pirate, alongside Judy Garland and directed by Vincent Minnelli. The film showcased Kelly's athleticism and featured a notable dance routine with the Nicholas brothers. Despite being ahead of its time, The Pirate did not perform well at the box office. MGM wanted Kelly to return to safer projects, but he persisted in his desire to direct his own musical film. In the meantime, he took on roles in The Three Musketeers and Words and Music. He was originally set to star in Easter Parade, but had to withdraw due to an ankle injury. He convinced Fred Astaire to take his place. Kelly then starred in Take Me Out to the Ball Game and, with Frank Sinatra, in On the Town, which was groundbreaking in the musical film genre. Stanley Donen, who was brought on as Kelly's assistant choreographer, eventually received co-director credit for their collaborations. Together, they pushed the boundaries of the musical form, utilizing real locations and incorporating modern ballet techniques. Singin in the Rain, which was released in the subsequent year, showcased Kelly's highly acclaimed and widely emulated solo dance performance to the titular song, as well as the unforgettable Moses Supposes routine featuring Donald O'Connor and the dazzling Broadway melody finale with CYD Charisse. Although the movie did not initially receive the same level of excitement as An American in Paris, it has since surpassed its predecessor to claim its current top spot in the eyes of critics, solidifying its status as a timeless classic. Gene Kelly, a renowned dancer and choreographer, was influenced by Robert Alton and John Murray Anderson when he started working on films. He collaborated with Gene Coyne, Stanley Donen, Carol Haney, and Alex Romero to create captivating dances that showcased both moods and character insight. Kelly experimented with lighting, camera techniques, and special effects, pioneering the integration of dance with film. His innovative use of split screens, double images, and animations made ballet more accessible to film audiences. Throughout his career, Kelly's style evolved from tap and musical comedy to incorporating ballet and modern dance forms. However, he refused to label his style, explaining that it was a hybrid that borrowed from various dance genres, including modern, classical, tap, and folk dances. He credited influences such as George M. Cohan and African-American dancers like Robert Dotson and Frank Harrington. Ballet, in particular, provided Kelly with a sense of exhilaration and self-expression. He also studied Spanish dancing under Angel Cancino. Kelly often used tap and popular dance idioms to convey joy and exuberance, while ballet and modern dance were employed for more reflective and romantic emotions in his performances. According to Delameter, Kelly's work in dance film integration during the 1940s and 1950s was groundbreaking. Unlike Fred Astaire's approach of limited camera movement, Kelly embraced the use of space, camera angles, and editing, while still maintaining full figure framing. He believed that the energy of live dance often got lost on film, so he involved the camera in the movement to capture it better. Examples of this can be seen in sequences like Prehistoric Man from On the Town and The Hat My Father Wore on St. Patrick's Day from Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Kelly's athletic background influenced his style, giving his moves a muscular quality. He believed that dancing was a man's game and criticized the perceived effeminacy in male dancing, which he felt deterred boys from pursuing dance. Kelly's health took a turn for the worse during the late 1980s and early 1990s. His deteriorating health became a major worry for his loved ones and close friends. Despite receiving the best medical care available, his condition continued to worsen. The stroke he suffered in July 1994 was a major setback, and his lengthy hospitalization was a difficult time for everyone involved. After being discharged from the hospital, Kelly required round-the-clock care and assistance with even the most basic tasks. His second stroke in early 1995 further limited his mobility and independence, leaving him unable to communicate effectively or care for himself. As his health continued to deteriorate, Kelly's loved ones struggled to come to terms with the reality of his condition. The once vibrant and active individual they knew was now confined to a wheelchair, unable to do the things he loved. On February 2, 1996, Kelly passed away peacefully, surrounded by his family. His death was a heartbreaking loss for all who knew him, but they took comfort in knowing that he was no longer suffering and was at peace. Kelly's legacy lived on through the memories and impact he had on those who knew and loved him. Thanks for joining us today, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos.